turn the music down and
Could be weed.
put them on. Could be what?
Could be weed. You never know. I mean,
Weed?
yeah. Somebody calls and they got weed.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
shit.
slight delay.
That's right. We do have our priorities. Yeah. No, but Billy Milano, of course, everyone knows him. He's played in, the totally legendary thrash band, Stormtroopers of Death, that had Dan Lilker from Nuclear Assault on the bass, Charlie Benante on the drums from Anthrax, and Scott Ian from Anthrax. Oh, here we go. Are you ready for some Billy? All right, folks. Hello? All right. How you doing, Billy? Hold on. Okay. Let me get you here. All right. I think you're on speakerphone now. Can you say something?
Sure, I'll just
All right, there we go. Billy, welcome back to Thrash Zone. You're on the air right now, live and uncensored, here on CrewRadio.com. Billy, it's been about a year since we last spoke, and at that moment, you were in the midst of hiring Juan Ortega and recording your new album, but that didn't pan out. Can you kind of Can you kind of tell us, update us on what happened there?
Yeah, I mean, look, I went out there with the best of intentions, and it just wasn't for me. I felt like the record wasn't what I wanted was turning out, and just I had some issues with a couple of the band members, and at this point in the game for me, I don't have to listen to anybody, and so when I decided that it was going to be more work that I wanted to do to come back and finish a record there, then I decided to pull the record and when I came home from tour, from that rum out to California, I just felt like there was issues with especially one of the members of the band, and I had felt like it would be a perfect time to get rid of him because I just didn't want to deal with him. And there's plenty of people that want to play live music if I choose to go that route. And pretty much said, see you later, and asked them to fired everybody.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you pretty much let the whole band go. And you guys were weren't you pretty much halfway done with that new album?
Well, yes and no. I mean, being halfway done with something you're not happy with, what does that mean?
Right.
So it's relative to point of reference. My point of reference was I wasn't happy, and so I wanted to get out of a place I wasn't happy, get into a place where I would be happy, and put things in perspective there.
Sure, and of course, I remember you telling me, Billy, that this could very well be your very last album. So, if you're not feeling it, rather than just putting anything out, you want to keep your integrity intact, and you decided, you scrapped it. You probably made the right move. In fact, I know you did. Because if you're not happy with the direction and it's your final product, man, you want to go out big. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it. I think another part of it was I just simply, at the age I'm right now, I didn't feel like I could commit to the time and the energy to keep going back and forth to California. And this is not a record that I think I'm going to release on a record label, though there might be hard goods available through something. I don't know yet. But, the fact is, I needed a break. I was tired and just sick of everyone's bullshit. And so I think it's easier sometimes to say, I'll talk to you in a year. I mean, M.O.D, and here's the one thing no one understands. I've always been a big fan of the music thing. You know, I love music. I love producing. I love shows. I love all that shit. But I also love my family. And so music is not the focal point of my life.
Right.
As far as taking up every free moment that I have. And, you know, I think at the end of the day, I really just wanted to, I wanted to go out and have a little bit of fun and put it in perspective to see if I could actually do it anymore. And you know what the truth is? It's more work than it's worth. I mean, I'm not talking about the money. I'm talking about the time that I have to keep putting into it because I have an older dog. I love my dogs. I'm working for a living, and I enjoy my life. Finally, you know, at my age. But I do, however, have other interests than just writing and playing music.
Right. And so you went and followed those other avenues, and, you know, basically, like you're saying, you're enjoying your life, you know. You put the microphone down, you walk away from it, and, you know, look into the other things that maybe you've been neglecting over time. You know,
Yeah.
and no one's going to ever say that you made a bad move wanting to focus on your family and things like that. I mean, that's always first. But, you know, you made a lot of sacrifice for years, you know, and you were stuck playing with those bozos in S.O.D. that gave you a hard time, you know.
Yeah.
I know that you guys were fighting all the time, man. What was it with them?
I honestly don't know. I don't know why Scott doesn't like the fans, but, you know, I don't know. Have you ever heard of that Motorhead cruise?
Yeah, of course.
There was a guy that went. My friend, who's a wrestler, he went to that show, to that cruise, and there was a guy that was wearing a shirt on that cruise with Scott Ian's face on it, and it said, "I hate fans."
Wow.
And I just don't understand. I don't know if Scott made that shirt. I don't know, but you know, if someone made that's an Anthrax fan, let's say, that kind of sucks, you know.
Right.
If he sees it, then obviously some of the other fans see it.
Yeah, you know, I just remember the last time we spoke how, you know, you were saying, and this is sad in a way, you told me, you know, the one thing you loved about M.O.D. versus S.O.D. was that you got to play the S.O.D. songs and like who you were playing the songs with. You know?
Yeah.
So that must have been a drag, you know. You're going out there, you're doing what you love to do, but you don't like the people you're doing it with, you know. And so it's kind of like part of it's not real, you know.
Yeah.
But you did a great job, man. And you know,
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, and you played some great shows, you know, and everyone knows the show you did in New York that you titled Live at Budokan.
Right.
And of course, the big dive that you did off of the speakers into the crowd, which I absolutely love. That was like a 30-foot drop.
Photoshop.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, we did Photoshop before anybody.
Did you jump on a trampoline in the crowd? Is that what it was?
Exactly.
Hey man, if you don't mind me asking, who's your friend in wrestling? Because I dig wrestling too.
It's a guy that wrestles on the East Coast from Connecticut. His name is Ron Zombie.
Ron Zombie, okay.
Yeah, he's good, yeah. Kind of looks like Mankind. He's wrestled a couple of those guys like Mankind and Flair and all them guys.
Nice, man. Yeah. I remember back on the East Coast they had ECW over there in Philly. That was probably before his time, though.
Yeah, that was in the 90s, I think.
Right, when it was at its peak, yeah.
Yeah, that was actually, they just, I think there was just some big schism in WWE about who owns what. Because I think they bought it. Didn't they buy it from Ted Turner?
Yeah, they bought WCW from Ted Turner and ECW from Paulie Dangerously. And I believe the McMahon family just owns all of those brands outright. He bought all the rights and licensing, everything to it.
Yeah, the guy is just huge.
Yeah, but
he was actually he got outbidded for UFC. You know that, right?
No, I didn't know he even did that. Shit.
Yeah, they tried to. Someone's been trying to buy the UFC. He offered them $4 billion.
That much, really?
Yeah, I think it was like $4.5 billion was the deal.
Yeah, wrestling, it's definitely gotten a lot bigger since the day when you and I were kids, Billy. And we used to watch them like at the Cow Palace in San Francisco. It was Ray Stevens and Pat Patterson, Moondog Mayne. You remember those guys?
I remember that generation, but I was more like superstar Billy Graham.
Oh, yeah.
And Ric Flair was still around those days.
Oh, yeah.
So like the Four Horsemen and shit like that.
Yeah.
I was, entertaining. It's fun.
Yeah, Ric Flair was the best, man. He gave the greatest interviews ever.
Yeah, he was a good mic man. He had a good mic.
Yeah. All right. So, Billy, let's talk about M.O.D. Where are we now with the release of this album that we were talking about that you ended up scrapping? All right, did you end up going back in the studio and finishing it up the way you wanted?
Well, here's the thing. I have a website, MilanoMosh.com, which has all the updates on the record. So basically, I got a second guitarist to play on the record. I had a bunch of my friends singing with me on the record. I just want to make the record something the fans who understand, the whole understanding of hardcore punk and what it all came from. I really wanted to grab that thought and capture it on this record. And just again, I wanted to do it right. I don't think I'm doing another M.O.D. record. In fact, I don't think I'm going to be doing another record at all. I think this is it. But it was amazing, even bad experiences in the entertainment industry make the good experiences better. So you've got to have the good and the bad. But I think the record, all the things you need to know about it is on MilanoMosh.com, and you can hear some of the stuff. Yeah,
which is a great website, everybody. You get all the information from M.O.D, S.O.D. Billy also has music there that you can download, like new tracks like Hermano. I remember you put that out there where people could download it. It's a great site for the fans.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. Everybody's on Facebook and all that other shit, and I gotta be honest with you, I'm kind of like dropping out of social media only because I'm at the point where I'm ready to go into my private life completely because I'm spending time with my family, and, grandkids are at that age where now they need to have me around.
Sure.
And I want to do that. I really want to do that.
Yeah, man, that's a good thing to do, Billy. And I can actually see you like that, being like a grandpa and all that,
Yeah, there's nothing wrong. I think it's awesome. I mean, and here's the funny thing. Unfortunately, as a kid, I never really met my grandfather because he died way before me. But the fact of the matter is, it doesn't mean that I don't have a value as one myself. And so that's what I'm choosing to do at this point.
Nothing wrong there, It's time to just do some fishing, and just remember the good times and all the memories that you have, You have a lot of accomplishments to be proud of, for sure, And, like that last album you did, you had a video of Wigga. Great, man, that was a great video. I love that.
No, I actually had a record after that.
Which one was that?
I had a record Red, White, and Screwed.
Right, okay, yeah.
So Wigger was on the Rebel You Love to Hate, and yes, that was a fun song, and that was a great record. And I got totally fucking slammed from MTV when they saw the video. They said, "We're not playing this."
Right.
And I was like, "Gee, thanks." If Eminem had done it, they would have loved it.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. It's a good thing that MTV's out of the music business, really.
Well, no, they're actually changed their entire format.
Again?
Yeah, now they're going back into music formats only.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Go figure.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't play fucking any music for like 15 years.
Yeah, well, I gotta be honest with you, you know, that's their problem. They lost complete sight of what they were there for.
Yeah.
But that was who took over, you know? You gotta remember who was running it, you know? There was a group of young snob people that thought they knew better.
Right.
Kind of like who's the people that are running the country now into the ground. Same idiots.
Yep. Yeah. And I don't know if you want to talk politics because
Sure.
Yeah. A lot of
I just posted. Hey, you know what? I just posted an article, or my friend did, because again, I'm not on social media.
Uh-huh.
He posted an article, an interview with me from 1988, and it says, "For America to survive in the future, we're going to need Donald Trump to be president."
In 1988?
Yep.
You said that.
Yeah, it's on my Facebook page.
Oh, that's right.
The M.O.D football Facebook page.
Yeah, I mean, weren't you from Brooklyn anyways?
Well, I was from Jersey, but I was a Hoboken kid.
Yeah, okay, Hoboken. Right, okay. So you knew who Trump was, is what I mean, back in those days, because that was before he got all famous with TV and all that.
Well, no, listen, he was, yeah, of course. The reality TV wasn't even a thought then.
Yeah.
It was just TV. But the reality of it is he was still a billionaire tycoon, business tycoon, who has worldwide business practices. The guy's got something to offer.
Sure.
And here's the funny thing. If you say to someone who's an Obama fan, which of course I am not, even though he's done a lot of things right, you won't, they'll say he's not qualified, but they'll tell you that being a community activist makes you qualified, which is basically horse.
You with us, Billy? I think he got disconnected. How did he get disconnected? Hold on, folks. Billy's going to call right back. Okay. Kim? Come here, please. Can you call him back? All right. Hold on, folks. We're going to get Billy back on. Oh, here he is. All right, Billy. I apologize. I guess I don't know whose end it dropped. Yeah.
In the world, but he was just a community activist. He went and spoke at colleges, whoever drove him around to act like he was a student in America, and he made himself known why he was there. He was being filmed, and that's the only thing we ever see of the guy. So he's done nothing that we can really determine that makes him eligible or rather qualified to be a president. Here's the other thing. As much as I hate Hillary Clinton's guts, because she's a fucking criminal, she honestly and truthfully is the only one running that's qualified to be the president. We're going to have to be on a learning curve with Donald Trump if he wins, and I think he might win.
I hope he does.
I hope he wins too, and that's what makes America what it is.
Yeah.
The fact that someone who has an opposing point of view won, and then they all sit around and say, "Well, you're using separatist thoughts and nationality identity to convince people he's right." And I'm like, and I say to everybody, "You mean like Obama did for 8 years?"
Right.
Exactly.
he's not even stepping up to the plate now, Billy, with all these cop killings going on, and
yeah, that's bullshit.
you know, he has nothing to say.
Yeah, he's not. Look, I'll just say this: whoever it was that's involved in the Bilderberg group that picked Barack Obama to take America down, they picked well.
Yeah.
Because that guy, truthfully, he was the biggest fraud ever to happen to America.
That's right.
But again, I think Trump has got something to offer, and if he doesn't, then I'll be the first one to say, get the guy the hell out of the office, and let's get someone in there who can.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's a lot of people that may not agree with you or I, Billy, that you know, say, you know, that he's, you know, he doesn't know what he's doing, and he's just going to lead us into World War III. You know what? We're already in.
Now.
We're already in World War III. Wake up, people.
Yeah, these people listen, these people they live in a fucking beautiful state of denial.
Yeah, or the state of confusion.
Yeah. Here's the truth. When I tell people that Barack Obama started 7 wars that we're not even talking about, they say there's no wars started. And I say, tell that to the guy holding his dead baby in Egypt, in Yemen, outside of Turkey, Libya, Syria, Sudan, Chad. We are going everywhere in those countries. This guy is a maniac. So more than likely, I've always said it from the beginning, and I've always said this a long time. I've been very politically active since Reagan ran to represent the Republicans in the 80s. And when he said he wouldn't have anyone like George Bush Sr. as his vice president, and then he gets the nomination and George Bush Sr. walks out with him,
right?
I knew at that point that the CIA was in charge completely, and that they're never going to leave the Oval Office.
Oh,
so no matter who's in the Oval Office, Trump or Clinton, we're going to war with Iran, and I am absolutely against going to war with Iran. I'm against our Middle East policies, and I'm against these maniacs going further into it.
Yeah, you know, you don't really. Are you saying you don't really buy into the axis of evil?
Yeah, the axis of evil is America, England, and Israel. And I love my country, but I don't like Israel. Israel has no right to be there. That's the problem. Yeah. This is a fantasy. Israel is a fantasy that was created by Frankists and Khazarians. And what they want is they want a nation that they can say they own the holy city. That's all they wanted. And it was a bunch of rich guys in Germany and Bavaria and in England that caused all these problems. These are not America's foreign policies, America in the Middle East. This is Israel's foreign policy pushed down to America by whoever's calling the shots. Whether it's the Rothschilds, the Bilderberg Group, the Frankists, the Khazarians, or the Zionists, they're all fighting for the same parcel of land. Why? Fucking who cares?
Right.
You know, people should get the fuck out of there, and they should let Palestine live peaceably.
You know what I say to that, Billy? Fuck the Middle East. There's too many problems.
Exactly. Hey, written by a Jew.
You gotta love it. Yeah. Hey, you know what, Billy? Since we're talking about these things, let me ask you something off the wall here. Do you feel all these musicians who got something to say about this or that? Obviously, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They're all uninformed musicians. Should they reply to political questions when it's clear that they don't know what the fuck they're talking about?
Well, I mean, I look at that honestly. I mean, the bottom line is this. we can only, as a human being, understand the information that we absorb. So if we can't understand information, like let's say quantum mechanics, you know how many people understand quantum mechanics? Like a thousandth of 1,000%. You know what I'm saying? It's so minuscule in numbers that it doesn't even register. Yeah. It does not, however, make it not real. See, at that point, because you can't understand it, doesn't make it fake. Yeah. Okay, so when people talk about things and they're uninformed or ill-informed, the best thing you can do is say, here's the thing, here's my point of view, these are the facts, and go check them, and just finish the conversation. Because to sit there and argue about things when you're talking from passion instead of from facts, you don't achieve anything.
Right. You don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I mean, these guys are all wrong. Here's these guys. First of all, Donald Trump, in the 30 years he's been in the public eye, has never been accused of being racist or sexist, ever. Now, all of a sudden, he's a racist, sexist guy because Hillary Clinton, who's a absolutely cold, dead, lifeless, soulless human being, wants to be in the White House so bad that she's going to stomp on anyone's dream.
Yeah.
Here's the truth. Look at what they did to Bernie Sanders.
Oh, yeah, he got screwed.
Listen, Bernie Sanders' rallies were 15, 20,000 people. Hillary Clinton was in Ohio to 200 people. And they filmed it. They made them all stand in a cluster. Yeah. And they filmed it from a cluster.
Right.
No one even, look, her own husband don't even like her.
That's like the oldest trick in the book, you know, when people don't show up, you push everyone to the front, and, you know, and just film so much, and it looks like they're packed. It's not, man. And, you know, let me tell you, when you want to talk about how these people, they don't lie to they lie to the American people and all that, you know, a lot of people still don't understand, like, HARP and what that was all about in Alaska.
Yeah. Well, you know, conspiracy stuff is something that I find interesting because I don't find sports interesting. You know what I'm saying? I don't watch American Idol. I don't watch TV. I don't like sports outside of wrestling. And I like some UFC. The rest of my day is dedicated to my family and reading. I, however, like archaeology. And ancient archaeology, which leads me to an alternative style thinking. As a result of having an alternative style thinking, because I want to find out facts and not just believe what I'm being told, then I come to find other things using it as a segue. Do I understand what HARP does? I understand how it works. I understand what it's possibly doing. But I also understand that we could be 100% wrong. So I don't know. But I do know that before I go off about HARP and these chemtrails creating a false understanding of climate change, I would say that we are actually in a polar shift, and that why that's still conspiracy, people are saying, you can't deny the stars and the constellations, and they're all out of alignment. They're not where they're supposed to be. The moon's shadow is incorrect. It's not what it's supposed to be. And if you go online and you look up the history of the lunar shadow from 20 years ago, 5 years ago, it's always waxing and waning, left to right. So we're in a polar shift at this point. And I think that all these things that are distracting us is keeping our minds away from the fact that the planet is actually spinning around its core, and that's what's causing, as a result, all your volcanism, all your earthquakes everywhere. The Gulf Stream has stopped working properly. I mean, there's some heavy shit going on that's real, that's not conspiracy.
Yeah.
How we choose to farm it off and say, well, the Gulf Stream stopped because of global warming, which is horseshit. Because the global warming is happening throughout the whole solar system. It's happening on Mars. It's happening on Neptune. It's happening everywhere. And it doesn't have to be, something that melts snow. It can just go up 2 degrees.
Right.
Because of magnetic interference right now in the solar system that we're passing through as a result of our galaxy moving, us moving in the galaxy. But it is what it is. You can argue it, you can debate it, but the fact is it makes a lot more sense than what they're telling us.
Yeah, and people should be informed, or at least have some knowledge, you would think, to realize that, in terms of the climate change and all these things, the Earth, the dinosaurs weren't the only thing that faced extinction during their time. We had asteroids that slammed into Earth and annihilated it. We had ice ages. And then, there's many things that happen, and it's like you said, it's all those forces out there, out in the galaxy that people just don't understand,
Well, it's the reality of, because you don't understand physics, it doesn't mean it's not real. It's the people have the ability to understand the information that they download into their brains would be full of useful information. Unfortunately, their brains are full of Who's Got Talent, Dancing with the Stars, Katy Perry, all this horse shit that means nothing. And you know what the truth is? Hillary Clinton goes on TV and absolutely fucking lies to the point where she's looking you in the face, she's smiling. It's like seeing an aunt or your aunt or your grandma when she smiles at you and you know she doesn't like you.
Yeah.
Like she's like, hi. And she has that smile and that she portrays that she's warm and she's a cold, cold human being. Oh, yeah. Now let me just say this. People don't want to be informed. They want to watch sports. They want to get drunk. They want to do stupid shit and be stupid, and that's fine. They have a right to do that. But because you don't know, it doesn't mean it's not true. Because you're offended, it doesn't mean you're right. People need to get off their fucking high horses and either get involved in the debate reasonably with information and study and research, or shut the hell up and go vote for the Jets.
Yeah. All this kind of leads me to my next question, though, man. Billy, could you ever become like the next Kurt Loder?
Who's Kurt Loder?
From MTV. You remember that dude? He did the news.
No, that guy. What's funny is when I had tried out with MTV back in the day when they were switching DJs over, and I went against Kurt Loder, and they wanted me to do MTV, but they didn't want me to do music.
What?
So it was different back then, They wanted DJs to have nothing to do with their own product.
So they didn't want you for their the metal show that.
Yeah, they didn't want someone to be like anything but what they wanted. They were very focused on having a projection. Someone who's going to voice for them, not voice for themselves. So basically they needed a meat puppet with eyes. They took him.
Yeah. All right. So that's what was up with Kurt Loder, huh?
Well, the guy was legitimately very blasé, but he was very effective with talking to generations of people who were very young and immature.
And that would have been us because.
Well, it wasn't me. That was you guys then.
Well, I don't know how old you are. I was born in '65, but.
Oh, I'm a year older than you.
Yeah, man. I just remember growing up in early '80s and flipping MTV on for the first time, and those were the guys that were first. Kurt Loder and those other guys.
Kurt Loder was not first
for the news.
Kurt Loder was second generation. The original guys were
Nina Blackwood.
Very good. Triple J Jackson, Downtown Julie Brown.
Yeah, I remember her.
There was a guy with blonde hair, Adam something.
Adam Curry.
Adam Curry.
Yeah, that was Kim.
Who said that? Good job. That was a hard one to remember.
That's my girl right there.
Yeah, and there was a couple other people that floated around. They were definitely interesting.
Yeah, Ricky Rackman. He's the one that did.
Ricky Rackman was one of the second generation guy. Ricky Rackman.
Yeah. See, like the gig that he had. See, you would have been good for that, you know.
Yeah, I actually turned down MTV Headbangers Ball twice.
Wow.
I wanted to do Sirius Radio, and I got offered or Sirius, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
And I got offered a talk show, but the only way for me to move up home would be if MTV picked me up again. And I went to go do the interview with them, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to live in New York, and I left.
Right.
Even though I missed the bagels. But
yeah, but it's a whole nother way of life over there, man. I lived in Manhattan for a couple of years over in East 29th and Madison and Midtown. You know, I did the grind for a couple of years, man. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, fuck that, man. Now I live in Seattle, you know, and it's a lot easier over here.
Listen, I live in Austin, Texas. There's nothing like sitting on your fucking couch with your balls hanging out.
That's right, you know, just you know, having good times, you know, hanging out with the dogs.
Balls out.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, by the way, man, you know, I want to give a shout out to the guy that does your website. His name is Web Bastard, and I know that he's a good friend of yours, Billy. And he told me that you had met. How did the story go, Kim?
He was drunk in the front row, and you got pissed off and went to kick his ass.
Yeah.
Is that right? He was a drunk?
Yeah, listen, he's still a drunk. Well, here, remember this, though. The guy that does MilanoMosh.com is my friend Schauke, and he lives in Holland. The guy that runs the M.O.D. Facebook page is the Web Bastard, and he lives in Connecticut.
Okay.
So they're two different guys. But James, the Web Bastard, was also the guy that ran BillyMilano.com, which was brutal for so many years. People used to write me, literally asking me, begging me to take the website down because it was so offensive.
Oh, come on, man. What, because you were a guy that just said it like it was? You know, why do we have to fucking pull our words back, you know? It's like, why do I got to be so careful that I don't offend anybody? You know, fuck that shit, man. I'm getting really pissed off. And, Billy, you know, let me say a little rant real quick. I'm getting really upset with this whole Black Lives Matter movement. You know, when it originally started, I understood the message. But it's not even like that anymore. Now they're standing out there blocking fucking cars. You know, they're beating people up that are white, that are standing there next to them in support of what truly the Black Lives Matter stand was for. You know, and now it has nothing to do with that. It's like a caricature of what the original message is, and now everybody hates it. Because I'll tell you what offended me, Billy. Is I started seeing pictures of these Goombas spray painting Black Lives Matter all over graves, statues, plaques that were dedicated to the heroes of the Vietnam War. I mean,
let me ask you something.
They lost me there, man.
Yeah, that's because number one, someone realized that they could make money by harnessing the anger of the black poor movement in America. That's a guy named George Soros. George Soros' buddy, who is one of the board of directors for MoveOn.org, which also supports Black Lives Matter, MoveOn.org, and who is George Soros, made $10 billion because the buddy from MoveOn.org illegally downgraded America's AAA rating to AA standard, AA plus, because he was the VP of Standard & Poor's. So he downgraded us illegally. It cost us 13 months in job growth of less than 1% in the country, GDP, And we're supposed to like George Soros? Here's the truth. George Soros fucked Barack Obama. Now, I'm not a fan of Barack Obama, but I am a fan of the fact that the guy was right when he went on TV and said, well, they said, what do you feel about the downgrade of America? And he turned around and said, it's bullshit, it's wrong. And you know what? Barack Obama was correct. Just like Barack Obama was correct when Merkel called him out on him spying on her, the cell phone spying ring that we had. Yeah. And he said, look, everyone spies on everyone, get over it. And I was like, you know what, finally someone just came out and put the issue to rest. We know that they spy on each other, we know it, but we admitted it. Now shut up and let's fix the goddamn economy. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's another issue we don't have to talk about because he came out and spoke the truth.
Right, and everybody in America should already know that, America, the government, has been listening to all our conversations for years and years. The NSA listens to everything.
Yeah, since the 50s.
Yeah, NSA's all over the fucking place.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I don't have a problem with that. What are they going to do with it?
Nothing.
You know what I'm saying?
So what if I'm buying a bag of weed? What are they going to do with it?
They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
What they want to know is who's fucking buying big-time drugs. They want to know who's moving narcotics.
And bombs.
They want to know who's moving plastic explosives and weapons and all that shit, and who's involved with child porn. And you want to know something? I want the feds to know that shit.
Absolutely.
So let them fucking spy.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a fact. So, I mean, the information age maybe did a disservice to people who are curious. Let me explain. Not everybody has the ability to process real information, naked information that may be disturbing to them. Because you find out later on in life that number one is that it looks like Saudi Arabia and Israel, Mossad, were involved on 9/11.
Absolutely they were.
We're talking about the Gulf of Tonkin now has been exposed, where we went to war in Vietnam and lied to get into it. So, I mean, there's so many issues that are coming to play. Like, you can find out about HARP. You can just find out what it is. It doesn't necessarily mean it's being done or it's 100% truthful. You have to discern that, but you have to be mature enough to discern that. And unfortunately, we have a society where they grew up playing with logs. I grew up at 5 years old. I played with Lincoln logs.
Yeah, I remember those.
I went to a bar and they're playing with blocks of wood at 30 years old. Jenga. What's the difference? Yeah. Here's the difference. At 6 years old, I gave my Lincoln logs to my cousin. Right.
You know what, Billy? Just to finish my rant about Black Lives Matter, you know what I think you and I should start? It's not about Black Lives Matter. Thrash Lives Matter.
Yeah. I mean, look, let me just explain this, too. I do not support Black Lives Matter because their message was corrupted by George Soros, who violated our laws.
Oh, you made that very clear.
So that's the facts. But I will say this. The fact that he's running that movement tells me there's problems. The real issue is the fact that the United States media isn't truthful. And so you look at things like this. You had the whole narrative of the Ferguson shooting of hands up, don't shoot proved to be a lie. It's not talked about. Everyone still says hands up, don't shoot. Simply because why? Because the checks are still coming in and they want to take the money. So, number one, money. Number two is no one talks about the brown guy that the black guy beat up in the food store and robbed them before the cops went to arrest him.
Right.
That was the Indian store clerk because he was the wrong color brown to make their story work.
Exactly.
So they ignore him. Yeah. But I will say this, and this is the simple truth. We have an understanding of a criminal justice system that needs to change. It's not that it's racially motivated. The problem with the Justice Department is not its racial profiling. The problem with the justice system is its private prison enterprise, because it makes profits for people to arrest them for petty laws.
Yeah.
There is no money in arresting someone who has nothing. Homeless people, if they're being vagrant, they put them in and they get rid of them after the next day. They're in and out. But a guy getting busted for a pound of weed or a half ounce of weed or some weed or shit, I mean, that's bullshit. Now, look, if you're selling a bunch of weed to little kids, then you deserve to go to fucking jail.
Right.
But if you're buying weed for you to bring home and smoke, to relax, I mean, really what that is personal use. It should not be a punishable crime, because the only person that has to deal with the results of it is the person ingesting the product. But more importantly, I think there's the Justice Department itself has got to revamp its laws, get rid of its petty laws, and have a basic set of laws that are less defined by state and more defined by federal.
Yeah, and laws that make sense, for God's sake.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's laws on the books now. It's ridiculous. I mean, I don't want to get into the ones where you can have sex with it, you can marry your goat and shit. And there are those laws, and you know it.
Yeah.
They're probably in Kentucky. You can marry your girl if she's your cousin, if she's missing 3 teeth.
Right.
Something like that. I'm sure there's some stupid laws like that somewhere.
Oh, in Indiana, I know there is.
Yeah, but the fact is this. Some of these laws in some of these states, in some of these very strict counties, are just unfairly practiced. But it still does not, in my mind, justify slaughtering cops. Now, I tell everybody this. I have 2 choices to make. I have to call a gang member up that someone's breaking into my house, or call a cop. What do you think I'm going to do?
Right.
So if the cops are gone, we're fucked.
Yeah. In fact, cops don't even show up to a lot of these things unless, I went to a neighborhood store here last week, and some dude ripped the store off. She called the cops to come, and the first question they asked her, Billy, was, did he have a gun? She said no. She said no. So they didn't even show up.
Well, they don't prioritize petty theft.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that pissed me off about law enforcement, and I shoot with the cops. So I'm not, let me just be very specific when I say that I shoot with the cops. I have a carry conceal. I have a weapon. I know how to use my weapon. I shoot periodically with the police in town to expand on my relationship with the police, because they need our help now. So I'm a proponent of legal and responsible gun ownership. Done.
Yeah.
But, we have to, as a society, come to the conclusion the way that things are happened with Obama after 7 years, which he's obviously Muslim Brotherhood. The way that happened with Obama for the last 7 years, the way that Hillary is going to be, she's already saying all this crazy shit, and the way that she courted Black Lives Matter. But mind you, Black Lives Matter the other day interrupted her campaign, and they literally held up signs that said, "We have to bring these people to heel." Remember when she said that about Black America?
Yeah.
Okay, so they came back with it again. So there could be some posturing going on between Black Lives Matter and Hillary Clinton to get what they want, or they're going to keep going after her.
Hey, Billy, check this out. Did you hear the latest shit that came out of her mouth when she was talking about Black Lives Matter? She said, that we have to identify with how that they're raised in gangs, and gangs are considered family. And I was like, and so, and I was like, so what are you saying, that we have to accept illegal street gangs?
Here's what you should know, and this is the truth. There is a game plan under the United Nations, and I've read it, to use gang members to police the neighborhoods that they're from.
Unbelievable.
Because they're not afraid to go into those neighborhoods and destroy them more than they've already destroyed them. So basically...
that's a license to kill.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what they're thinking. Here's my only fear at this point, and this is what I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on the fact that, number one is... we're going to have a civil unrest episode in America if Donald Trump wins. So if you're a Republican and you believe in family, how about this? If you're a liberal and you believe in family, then how can we turn our backs on these old people in our communities that are going to be afraid and affected by these people rioting? And I just don't I don't think that we can do it. We have to stand up to this. Yes, and this is not us. This is not standing up against Black Lives Matter. This is standing up against violent, stupid people. And violent, stupid people, because they're multiple colors and they're multiple agendas, these people have got to be dealt a lesson. And I'm not talking about shooting them. I'm talking about standing and confronting them.
Right. Yeah, absolutely, man. Just using the power of words and making sense, man. Hey,
yeah, look, I don't want violence.
Fuck no, I don't. No one wants to die in a worthless fucking riot.
Yeah, people are actually getting hurt now, and it's not funny when I see these people. I see these people hold their video cameras up as someone's getting beat up. Whether or not you agree with that person getting beat up or the point of view,
they're not even helping.
Outside of the fact that if that person started that fight, he should be dealt the consequences. But we're not talking about reasonable actions. In fact, what we're talking about is irrational behavior propagated by people with video cameras who have no understanding that someone's in jeopardy. And you know what? The wrong punch, the wrong kick, the wrong hit, and someone dies.
That's right.
Then here's the truth. Then you've got someone going to jail for murder when he just got into an argument in a fight because he didn't have the faculties to not be violent. He got pushed into being violent by the mob mentality, or he couldn't comprehend the level of violence he was ascending to. Either way, someone's dead. Someone's got to go to that person's home and tell their family, which is something no one ever gives a cop credit for. And I know, because I had a cop come to my house to tell my mom that my brother was dead.
Oh, that's awful.
I know what these cops feel in their heart when they tell you. When I saw a cop say it, and I saw my mom cry, and I saw the cop's face sink into the ground. That guy went home with it that night to his family. You know what? That cared. But the bottom line is this. We have to stop talking about fighting back and standing our grounds as human beings, and we have to start doing it. I will never, ever agree with an attack on a police officer. And you're talking to a guy that got arrested for fist fighting with a cop. But that's a fact.
Right. No, I totally agree with you, man. They protect us, It's like you can't cross that line, man. You there, Billy? Oh, crap. We lost him again. You know what? Check this. Oh, here he is. We're going to wrap this up, though. Put him on speaker. Hold on, Billy. All right. We got you, Billy? All right. Redial it. Billy, you there? We got his fucking voicemail. Hold on, man. Here he is. Hey, Billy, you there? Billy. Kim, get over here and get this phone. Hold on, Billy. If you're listening, hold on, buddy. We're trying to get to the phone. All right. Mr. Milano, are you there? Hello? Billy. I don't hear him. Is it on? Billy, are you there? Well, this is a shame. I'll tell you what. Let's call him. There we go. All right, Billy, we got you now.
Yeah, you know what it was? It's every time I get a text message, it shuts my phone off.
God damn it. Don't you know he's on the radio right now, talking to the world?
You T-Mobile.
Fucking A, man. Those people ripping every fucking people off. Hey,
It's Hillary Clinton's fault.
Billy, check.
Actually, I should be doing a good job, Obama.
Yeah.
Fuck him. If I had an Obama phone, the shit wouldn't hang up.
You know, Obama, your mama. Hey, all right, hey Billy. Let me ask you to back away a little bit from the phone so you're not distorting. But you know, I just real quick, man. That was real interesting just to get a little feel of where you stand on current events. And I think it's really cool that you hang out with the cops. You do some shooting with them. You get your facts from them. You got inside information. But I do want to get back to the music real quick before we let you go. And so what are you telling us? Is it that this album may not even come out?
No, not at all. I am finishing this record as we speak. What I've decided to do is this. I've decided to give the record away for free to the fans who want it.
Nice.
Let them give it to whoever they want to give it to. You'll be able to buy it at any point once the first song. I'm going to release one song a week. And then at some point, at any point, you'll be able to buy the record from like CD Baby or some shit. I don't know.
Right.
I haven't figured any of it out yet. All I'm trying to do is get the record done. But at that point, I don't know what my involvement's going to be beyond that. But
Are you gonna go out on the road in support of it?
No.
All right, Billy. Go ahead.
And you know what? I'm going to tell you why. Because for fucking 2 years, I've been telling everybody in Europe, where we were doing great, what's going on with immigration. And now immigration in Europe is a fucking bloodbath. Right. And you know what the truth is? They didn't listen to me. I got an email today from someone from Nuclear Blast Records. I can't mention the person's name. And they said to me, Billy, who would think 16 years later you were right?
Huh. Yeah, Billy, that reminds me of something, man. Did those fuckers over at Metal Blade or whatever, did they ever fucking pay you yet?
No, it wasn't Metal Blade. It was Johnny Z.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's it.
No, he never paid me. I don't have. I mean, look, I'm pretty much done dealing with it. If I ever see him, I'm going to knock him out. That's the only thing I can do. But at that point, it'll be worth it. So I break his nose and I leave.
Hey, all you got to do is make sure you punch him in Austin, Texas. That way your friends will show up and bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah.
Just look the other way.
I just think at the end of the day, I'm ready to move on. Johnny Z is a liar. He's got a new business called Breaking Bands. And if one of the things you're going to do as a musician is work with someone, you should know that whether he's been accused of stealing, which he's obviously done, and everyone bragged about it. He bragged about it to everybody. Yeah. But I don't deal with him no more. I don't deal with Maria Ferrero anymore from Adrenaline PR. Nobody.
There's another pleasant name.
Yeah, fucker. Next.
Right.
I'll take a shit later.
Yeah. So, those fuckers, did you ever, are you saying you never saw a dime for what did you made a couple records for S.O.D. with them?
No. Listen, here's the deal. I got paid just not what I was supposed to get paid. And it was my friend at Megaforce that was the accountant that told me. and he said that Johnny shorted me $50,000 or $60,000 that he was aware of. But then this is a whole nother thing that I'm talking about, that I'm arguing now with Johnny. So Johnny made me an offer before I went to Europe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, to settle on some publishing for that record, I'm the Man, that Anthrax did, because I own publishing on that record.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Johnny, that was Anthrax's biggest record. And when he went to settle with me, he told me that the record sold 200,000 copies, which is fine, because he gave me a mathematical formula, so this is what you're getting per unit for 200,000 copies.
All right.
Well, I went and did I wrote him and said, I'm going to Europe. I'll deal with this when I get home after I do some research. Well, my research, which oddly enough I say to people when it comes to politics and points of view and what's facts, do your research. Well, I did my research, and it was 1.6 million copies worldwide. And so all he had to do was pay me for 1.6 million copies on the same formula, and it would have been over with. I would have said, hey, thanks a lot, I appreciate it. Good luck with what you're doing, because he wanted to pay me because he was launching a new company called Breaking Bands.
Yeah.
And I would have been the guy that said, hey, you know what? We didn't get along, and maybe he was untruthful about things, but he eventually owned up and paid. So if you stay on top of it, you'll be okay. And that's what I would have said. Instead, I have to call him a dirty rat thief, because he is, because he refuses to pay me on 1.6 million copies.
Billy, let me ask you this, man. Why the fuck is he refusing to pay you? What is the deal, man? Is he just like, you know?
I don't know. I think it has something to do with the fact that he's not an honest person. I mean, look, I could say a whole bunch of shit that probably you want to hear, but it has no relevance to the fact that he's an unethical person. As an unethical business person, do you want someone who has a dream to live, who wants to do music, who's so passionate about it that they're willing to sacrifice their own time and family time to go do it? Do you want that person getting his hands on that person and fucking utilizing him and taking advantage of him and not paying them and destroying their rights to live their dream?
Right.
No.
That's what they're
And
doing,
you know
too.
what? Well, that's what he would be doing
Right.
if I didn't say it. And so I say it to everybody. Avoid Johnny Z, avoid Breaking Bands, and avoid Adrenaline PR. 3 ethical douchebags. Done. Unethical.
Don't forget Maria Ferrero, too.
No, she's Adrenaline PR.
Right.
I don't listen.
She contacts me for shit.
She's a douchebag.
Yeah.
Here, I'm not going to get into a big thing about her, but I'll just say this. She said to me, and I'm going to quote it, Billy, Johnny stole from everybody. Get over it. And the answer is no.
Yeah. And
I'm
you know
not
what?
going to get over it. If Johnny stole from everyone, and you're telling me to get over it, that means you're acknowledging the fact that you know he stole, and you're okay with it, because you're doing business with him.
Exactly, because you're still working with them, so
That's
she's
right.
part of it. She's
That's
fucking
right.
part of it. Yeah, man. No, I totally feel you on that. It pisses me off when I hear that story.
Yeah, it's just not, it's not what friends do to each other.
Right.
And that's the simple facts. I just don't like unethical people, and I don't like the entertainment industry at any level.
Is that part of the reason why you just got sick of performing, Billy, was all the bullshit, the politics, the trying to get paid, chasing people down? What was it that turned you off?
I mean, everything you mentioned and then some. Here's the thing that bothered me the most. All right? I am a very honest person. Maybe to the point where it gets me in trouble. But at least you know where the fuck I'm standing. So I don't lie. But when I had booking agents trying to book me, and they would lie, that would piss me off. And I would blast them. And I know for a fact that I burned more bridges than maybe I should have. But the fact is this, at least I was honest and I accepted it. But these booking agents would lie to these clubs. You know, let me get 3,000 from M.O.D. I'm like, 3,000? How about this? Get me 500. Let's do a $5 door, and let's make some fans, and no one gets hurt. It's one thing if a guy loses $100 on a show, and he goes, you know what? For $100, it was worth it, and I get asked back every time because I like playing for the fans as much as I like playing for me. You know what I'm saying? Which is fun. But the fact is this, I'm not a scumbag, and I'm not going to take advantage of people. And when booking agents that I've dealt with in the past, a couple of times I've canceled tours in the last year in America, last 2 years, because he would tell my booking agent, would tell the clubs, I'm going to put 250 people in a room on a Monday night in fucking, Cleveland, and he's got an $18 ticket. I say to him, yeah, here I am, and my name's Alice Cooper, too.
Yeah, who's gonna be there, man?
I mean, no, and I didn't even want to be there. That's why I fired him.
Right?
But here's the other thing, too. Here's the other thing, and it's the most important aspect of why I talked about that. I don't want to look at these people in the face and say, fuck you, pay me. That's not good business. That's bad
I know
business.
you would avoid. Yeah, you tried to avoid that.
So if I do a door price and a guarantee that's reasonable, it doesn't hurt anybody to lose $100 here and there. I do it all the time. I'm in a band.
Right.
But the fact is, when you tell someone, fuck you, pay me, you lose a lot. And I couldn't live with the fact, I couldn't live looking at myself in the mirror for that. I couldn't do that. I just can't do that.
All right, Billy. Yeah,
I mean, it's not fair. And that's the other thing, too. It's not fair. There's a lot of politics involved in music and booking, especially, where they say, if you don't do this for me, you're not getting this. And I think that sucks. And that's another reason why I don't like the industry. So I do everything DIY, do it myself as best as I can, and I have the success that I like, the exposure I'm comfortable with, but more importantly, I have good business with these people. And, like people in like a club in New Orleans called Siberia, those people are awesome. And, I was on Facebook and the guy would say, hey, how you doing? Are you playing? And I'd be like, well, I'm not playing this year. He'd be like, hey, just, if you're ever around, drop in for a beer. Just stuff like that. There's a new breed of people getting involved in business, and it's not just blood and guts money. And that's what I want.
Billy, is there any profit, say, for you or interest for maybe you to start your own label?
No. Here's the thing. Here's an interesting thing. It's possibly correlates to the only downfall or the only detrimental stance that I have in my mind against Donald Trump. And it's this. Music is like business in America. So music is changing, not only format, but how it's accessed. What a copyright is being challenged now. Who owns copyrights? What is a copyright once it's released to the general public? So all these things that are happening in the industry are kind of like some of the issues that I have with Donald Trump when he talks about bringing jobs back to America. Well, I hate to break it to everybody, but manufacturing jobs aren't what they used to be. They're not the same kind of jobs that are available anymore. They're partials, not completes. So, it's kind of like the way the EU did the Boeing jet. France did some, Denmark did some, Germany did some. They all did their pieces to be a part of the EU to assemble this jet. But the Airbus. But, businesses like that in America. We no longer do manufacturing in America. We don't have steel mills really that much in America. We do more recycling and more data work than we do any other work.
Recycle.
And so what you're really, yeah, but recycling's huge money because there's not only product to be recycled and refurbished and refitted, there's data. Data is getting recycled and refurbished. So there's the whole movement into this tech world has changed America forever and its rudimentary understanding of business. We no longer are a manufacturing country and in a manufacturing economy. We are a service industry IT economy. And so for Donald Trump to say, I'm going to bring the jobs back to America, would actually be detrimental to the health of American business. So I don't agree with him on that. So, you know what I'm saying? It's all perspective. I wasn't happy with the business people were doing in my name, and so I kind of walked away from it.
Yeah. All right, but you did it your way, man. You know, you went out the way you wanted to. Billy, you know what? I need to move on with the show. I really love talking to you, man. I really
man.
I respect you a lot, Billy. I always have.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. You know, is there anything you'd like to tell everybody listening right now around the world on Thrash Zone about, you know, just any last words at all? Just go ahead and say it, and we'll let you go for the night.
All right. I think the most important thing people could do, besides read about what's going on in politics, is get a gun. Yeah. America, get a gun. Don't go gentle into that good night. Get a gun. I'm serious. You got to take care of the old people in our community who are scared, and it's not fair that they're scared. That's what I got to say.
All right, man. What about those that can't get a firearm because maybe they have a felony? Doesn't necessarily have to be a violent felony, but a felony nonetheless.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Here's the beauty about Home Depot. You ready?
Yeah, tell it.
A Home Depot is filled with weapons. You just got to have a mind to put them together.
Yeah. All right, man.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, there's hammers. There's all kinds of crap there, you know.
Fuck yeah, man.
Assemble it, baby. All right, Billy. You know what? Thank you very much for, you know, keeping us informed, updated on what you're doing. You know, what a great career you've had. And
it was awesome.
Yeah, and, you know, I'm glad that, you know, we're going to get this last piece from you. We're not going to see a tour, though. That's one thing I'm sorely going to miss. I wanted to see you one more time, you know, maybe up in Seattle.
I appreciate that. Yeah. You know, I got to be honest with you. The way shit's going on in the world, until we have people that are going to acknowledge that shit's happening in an egregious way, then we need to stay home with the family.
There you go, man. Take care of our blood, our family, our people. Yep. All right, Mr. Milano, what a great interview.
Thank you.
Know, everybody, check out Billy on MilanoMosh. Is it .com or .org?
.com.
MilanoMosh.com, and you can also go to his Facebook page. That's the one that Web Bastard does. Yeah, and you know, check that out and stay informed, man. You know, and like Billy says, you know, don't just go out there and rant. Go out and get educated. And you know, make sure you know what you're fucking voting for. You know, that's one thing. God. All right. Billy Milano, everyone. Billy, I'm gonna play 4 songs of yours right now. What do you think of that?
I think I'm gonna watch Netflix and go to sleep.
All right. Spoken true. I just got Milano moshed. All right, my friend. You have a good night. Oh, hold on. I guess Kim has one for you.
Sure.
Hurry up.
Who's your favorite UFC fighter?
Conor McGregor.
All right.
I like him because he's a cunt.
How about
No, there's a couple of really good guys, but you know,
like Silva?
Like who?
Silva?
Anderson Silva. He's all right.
What about Jason Mayhem Miller?
Who?
Jason Mayhem Miller.
I don't know him.
Yeah.
Is he good?
He's the one that he hosted that show, Bully Beatdown on MTV.
Yeah, I don't know. I I haven't seen it. I like Silver, but he doesn't blow me away anymore. That Chris Weidman was good, but then he lost. I like Conor McGregor because he's a cunt. He's at least entertaining. But you know, there are some really good guys. John Jones is great. I think he's out of UFC right now. I don't know what the hell he's doing. But, you know, I like the heavyweights, but Brock Lesnar, I think, is overrated. But I think Brock Lesnar has more to do with WWE having Ronda Rousey going in. She's going into WWE for a year. And I think at the end of the day, they did that as a trade with Brock Lesnar. As you know, and you guys are wrestling fans, you know they do a lot of that.
The next big thing.
We'll see what happens. Again, it's so, UFC changes day to day, you know? I mean, believe it or not, I love Conor McGregor because he's a shit talker, pikey, you know? But I like that Nate Diaz fight he did. I think Nate Diaz is fucking awesome. And then the one Nick Diaz fight against Anderson Silva is that's a great fight.
What do you think about Dana White?
I think Dana White's about to become worth about $450 million.
Damn.
So he's selling his company for, I think it's $4.5 billion. Even though it's not his, he's only part of the owner. But the only thing that sucks about it is I think Joe Rogan is leaving. And Joe Rogan's leaving UFC if they sign the deal. And he said it on his podcast. But I like Joe Rogan. He's one of the reasons I watch UFC, because Joe Rogan's podcast is awesome.
Yeah.
That guy, hey, dog, I saw you. My dog is chewing my pillows.
Bad doggy. Bad dog.
My dogs, I have 3 huge dogs, but, you know, Joe Rogan, if Joe Rogan leaves, I'm going to be bummed out. I mean, I like Dana. He's a good dude and shit, but I don't know.
All right, old man, I'm going to let you put on your Netflix.
Yeah,
Go
brother.
enjoy yourself. It's been a pleasure, Billy.
Nice talking to you.
All right, till next time, my friend. You have a good night.
Good night.
All right, man. Wow. Billy Milano from M.O.D. and S.O.D. two just thrash-tastic bands that were all throughout the 90s and, you know, in the last, even into the 2000 years, you know, just a great band, legendary. And you know what? Here we go. We're going to play 4 songs right now. This is M.O.D., the first one. This is Walk in My Shoes, baby. Crank it. You're listening to Thrash Zone.
When you walk in my shoes, you know what I'm saying. When you walk in my shoes, go. more like a little white suburban prankster, taking up the walls. Now you think you're a hoodie. You saw colors and you got a woody. Then thought up the master plan. Gonna write a rap song and tell it to the white man. I remember when the fight was built in the air. I remember if you couldn't hear, you were there. I remember when you were where you were from. And not what you saw on the television, son. White boy.
This is Evil Eli on Billy Boldt Thrash Zone, baby. I crank this shit every motherfucking Monday. And you